Hello and welcome back to Tima podcast. This has been truly a historic Premier League weekend because something really significant is happening. A massive dynamic change which we have not seen in quite a few years. Find out why later. This is a cool weekend. This is a big weekend for football in the Premier League. But before I get into the football side of things, I called TalkSport on Saturday after City were battered 4-0 at home by Spurs. I talked to Rory Jennings on his show, had a few minute conversation, and luckily enough, my call with him was actually put on TalkSport's YouTube channel. So I will put the link of that video into the description and into the comments so you can check it out and see how Tima talked to Rory Jennings on TalkSport. Pretty cool, right? I mean, doesn't happen every day that I feature on TalkSport. That's not like a common thing, isn't it? So that's pretty cool. And of course, please do subscribe to YouTube channel Tima Baller, like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. So let's get into the football side of things. The historic thing that has happened. Man City have lost 5 games in a row. 5 games in a row. They're 8 points behind. 8 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool with 31, Man City with 23, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Brighton all on 22. Seriously, that is quite significant. Man City are literally falling apart. 5 defeats in a row. What is going on with City? They got absolutely battered at home. Completely destroyed at home by Spurs. Many people would have probably thought that this could have been a destruction of Spurs, because Spurs literally lost to Ipswich Town before. And now they show up to the Etihad and they absolutely batter City. They scored 4 goals, a double from Maddison, Pedro Porro, and at the end also Brennan Johnson. And City wasted their chances. Erling Haaland will of course still be one of the best players in the world, but ever since the Arsenal game when he went up to Arteta and said, "Stay humble here," in these subsequent 7 Premier League games, he's had only 2 goals. That's not Erling Haaland, isn't it? 2 in 7. That game against Spurs, he missed 2 big chances as well. So this really is something about City. What's happening? Their midfield is completely nowhere near it. Ilkay Gundogan, who is like 34, Rico Lewis, who is out of position and is inexperienced, and Bernardo Silva. That is now City's midfield. You've gone from having a Ballon d'Or Rodri with Kevin De Bruyne, and look where you're now. And of course, no disrespect to Gundogan and Rico Lewis, but your team quality has dropped off massively. There's been an exodus of world-class talents from the team like Mahrez and Sterling and Jesus before that. Gundogan then drops off. And you haven't really replaced them, have you? Alvarez left as well. A lot of these players left, and the replacements, I think, were rather, perhaps in some ways, uninspiring, right? Savinho. Nobody's talking about Savinho being a flop, and I think it's unfair to call him a flop. We're not even halfway through the season. But he has scored 0 goals. 0 goals. 0. Like, defenders have scored. Guardiola has scored. He scored 0, and he started lots of games. He's had a lot of minutes. He's played a lot of games, and he's only gotten a few assists. Now, of course, you can make the case that it's about playmaking and everything, but fundamentally, if you are an attacker for a top side, you need to score goals, and he's failed to do that. Doku's been injured, been inconsistent. Jack Grealish's been injured and inconsistent. Erling Haaland, of course, is phenomenal, but he's not getting the service. Kevin De Bruyne has been not fit, and Phil Foden has transformed from being Premier League Player of the Season to being literally average. He's gone to literally being completely average, only scoring a couple goals and having nowhere near the influence he had last season. So this is massive. We've not seen City in this state ever, probably since Pep Guardiola came in. And I think definitely Liverpool have got something going, because we are 8 points clear. Liverpool, still with the best defense, only 8 goals conceded. Arsenal are next with 12. And let's just, for 1 second, think about this. Out of 18 games, Liverpool have 16 wins. Can we just appreciate what Arne Slot has done here? To walk into a league where you've never been before, from Feyenoord, You've never managed in a top 5 European side before. You walk into that Liverpool job and from day one you impress. Pre-season, the first games, Champions League, League Cup, top of the league, top of the Champions League. And of course, this is our time to be happy. This is our time for Liverpool fans to celebrate and be happy and enjoy this moment because it is phenomenal. It is a great time for us. And actually, when I made that appearance on TalkSport, I basically said that we went from title hopes to title challengers to title favourites, and now there's a clear pathway to the title. And I read the comments, and some people were saying things just broadly that you aren't a true Liverpool fan if you say we're going to win the league already, you know what can happen. And I think there's something very wrong with that logic. Isn't there something very, very wrong by telling other people to not dream? What is wrong with dreaming? What is wrong with being optimistic? When you're 8 points clear, top of the league, regardless if it's match day 37 or match day 12, I know it's early in the season. I know there's still so much to go. We've got most of the season left. We've not even played we've barely played the third of the season. But what's wrong with having optimism, with celebrating, with saying we're going to win the league? Why not enjoy? This is a phenomenal moment for us Liverpool fans. We've been waiting since 2020 to have another opportunity where we are top of the league by a large margin, right? Don't forget, last season we were top of the league by like 2-3 points. City had a game in hand. We were only marginally ahead, very, very narrow. We are now 8 points clear of City, 9 points clear of Arsenal. This is massive. Celebrate, be happy. I don't get fans who go out and tell other people, don't say this, don't do that. Everybody has the right to their opinion. Go celebrate, go have fun, enjoy yourself. Being a football fan is about having fun. So stop making it boring and saying, no, it's too early, it's too early. Yeah, we know it's too early, but let us have fun. Come on, let's enjoy it. We're top of the league. Of course we're favourites. Of course we are. We're 8 points clear. I will never deny that City are still City. Pep Guardiola is still one of the best managers in football history. He's phenomenal. And City have been able to close down a 7-point gap in the 18-19 season. City have been able to close down a gap last season. But let's not forget, these are different City sides. This is a City side which does not have a Ballon d'Or winner in Rodri. They don't have a proper DM. They struggle to score goals because a lot of their top goal scorers like Mahrez, Sterling, Alvarez have all left. So fundamentally, they've got one proper attacker goal scorer, which is literally Erling Haaland. Doku doesn't score that many goals. Savinho doesn't score many goals. So where will the goals come from? Bernardo Silva was never a top goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne has been injured a lot of the time. And Phil Foden has now, I don't know what's happened to him. I don't understand. Since the Euros, he's turned into a different player. So, and then just to add to that, defensively, Kyle Walker is aging and they haven't got a top-class right back there. Centre-back pairings, John Stones keeps on being injured. I know he played last game, but he is aging, as is Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake. And left-back, you got Gvardiol, who got absolutely obliterated. He got absolutely obliterated. And he also got obliterated by Ben Doak when playing against Scotland. By the way, Ben Doak, the legend, the support, the Liverpool youngster, the Scottish Messi. But what I'm saying is, like, City are vulnerable. So what we're saying is, this is realistic. We can win the league. This is a possibility. So I'm saying this is a massive result. It was a really, really, really kind of stressful game, that Southampton game, because I sat there in complete dejection when we were down 2-1. But of course, we've got to talk about one man. We have to talk about the Egyptian king. We have to talk about the legend and, in my opinion, the best player in the world right now, Mohamed Salah. Can we just appreciate what this man's doing? Can we just appreciate what he's doing? In 18 games, he's got 12 goals, 10 assists, 22 goals and assists. He's getting more than one goal or assist each game. And I'll tell you even more. He has scored or assisted in every single game except 4, one of which was a cup game where he only played 40 minutes. So Mo Salah is practically getting a goal or an assist in every single game. He's impacting every time he's on the pitch. This is a sensational world-class footballer. He is phenomenal. People try to write him off. They try to say he's done. They said he's lost pace. He has transformed himself into a playmaking genius who has phenomenal passing, great footballing IQ. That finish for the goal was amazing. What a clever finish past the Southampton keeper McCarthy. What a clever finish. He doesn't need to smash it or chip it. Just a gentle poke past the keeper and boom. And what a nice penalty as well. And of course it was a penalty. To anyone saying that Southampton didn't get a pen another time, hang on a second. Southampton got a penalty which wasn't even arguably deserved. It was kind of outside the box. And then we got a penalty because Sugawara literally decided to do artistic gymnastics with the ball. So let's forget this whole nonsense. Salah, great penalty as well. 2 goals in this game, another brace, another man of the match. What can I say? He's the Egyptian king. Absolutely phenomenal. He has literally just transformed himself into a great footballer. And one of the things that makes a footballer not just great, but world class is when you can transform yourself. Because there are footballers who have a fantastic time, and then let's say they kind of drop off, they lose some pace, and that's it, they drop off completely. With Salah, it's been different because although he's not as fast as he once was, but he's made up for it by being a lot more clever in terms of passing. His shooting is very clinical. Some of the finishes he's scoring this season are phenomenal. Just look at that Brighton goal. Phenomenal. He's become a better goal scorer, a better provider, a smarter footballer, and he's super strong as well. So that complete package makes him probably just phenomenal in every way. And I can't really think of any other players in the world who are better than him right now. Because you can talk about Rafinha, who have similar stats, but Mo Salah doing it at the Premier League level, doing it against tough opposition, carrying his team forward, and taking into account how successful Liverpool are, being the best team in Europe. I think it's quite fair that the best team in Europe, Liverpool, also have the best player. I think that's a fair assessment, given how high quality he's been. And if you look at the kind of goals he scores and the kind of assists he gets, it's pretty phenomenal. Of course, I think Lewandowski, Rafinha also having sensational seasons, no denying that. So, wow, simply wow, Mohamed Salah is phenomenal. And the fact that we've not given a contract extension is ridiculous. He said in an interview that apparently we've not given him a contract offer and he's disappointed and he's more likely out than in. As a Liverpool fan, that makes me feel infuriated. And actually, I will be making an episode about Liverpool later on where I'll go into more details about my analysis of the situation at Liverpool. But I will definitely say that I'm outraged. I'm absolutely outraged. What on earth are we doing? This is a disgrace. I don't care who you bring in. Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, do whatever you like. Give the contracts out. I don't care about your money game and your smart money. This is the best football player in the world. You're telling me that we are going to move on the best football player in the world on a free because we don't want to pay him the wages. When will we start finally just realizing we have to give Salah a contract? We have to give Trent a contract. We have to give Van Dijk a contract. These are key players in our team. Replacing them will cost a lot of money. Right? We cannot replace Salah. And if we were to try to replace him, who? Takefusa Kubo, who is nowhere near it? Rodrigo from Real Madrid, who would cost a fortune and he's nowhere near it? Leroy Sané, who is already aging and probably not even fitting our system, doesn't score many goals? How are we going to replace Salah? And please don't tell me we're going to just shift Szoboszlai over to the right. Please don't tell me that we're now going to try to rely on Chiesa as the long-term Salah solution. And let's not talk about Marmoush because he's more of a centre forward. He's not even left-footed to begin with. So that doesn't even make that much sense. So yes, absolutely ridiculous. What we're doing with the contracts is a mess. I don't want to go into a rant here because after all, this kind of podcast is meant to be about teams in general. So before we move on, just one word. Ryan Gravenberch is amazing. Once again, a great performance by him. 93% passing accuracy. A fantastic pass to set up Salah for the second goal. 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. He's had a great game as well. But let's now move on to some other teams. I don't want to just focus on the big teams. Let's talk about Wolves, because I like Wolves. I like Gary O'Neill. I think he's a great manager. I love the way he came into the Premier League. Literally no experience. Saved Bournemouth. Unfortunately got sacked. Went to Wolves and he's now saving Wolves. And I really felt sorry for Wolves. They had the worst run of fixture possible. And when I say the worst run of fixture possible, you might think that, okay, Tima, you're just trying to find excuses, aren't you? Brighton away, City home, Liverpool home, Aston Villa away, Newcastle home, Chelsea home, Arsenal away. I mean, I feel so sorry for Wolves. Last year, you got denied like 10 points by VAR, tried to cancel VAR, got outvoted 19-1, and now you've been, like, as a joke, they've pranked you by giving you the worst possible fixture list. But now they've got a breath of fresh air. They beat Southampton 2-0, they beat Fulham 2-0. Sorry, they beat Fulham 4-1. Of course, 4-1, what a great game that was. Cunha, what a legend, Cunha. Another brace for him. He's becoming easily Wolves' best player. And now things are looking better because they've got Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich, Leicester. I mean, I easily see a couple wins there. A couple wins will take them even further out the danger zone. They're currently 17th level of points with Ipswich at 9 points. Slightly better goal difference, -8. Wolves are certainly on their way towards improvements. They've bounced back from some terrible defeats to Chelsea and some embarrassing moments, but they are bouncing back. So I wish them all the best. I think they're a great team. And I also want to talk about Everton, because Everton was kind of obviously it's a really big club, they've never been relegated, they've been in the Premier League the longest, but right now they're in quite a questionable position, only 2 points off, 2 points off relegation zone. They lost to Southampton before, and now they got a 0-0 draw against Brentford, and Brentford were down to 10 men after Norgard was sent off on minute 41, and Everton had basically more than 45 minutes with an additional man on the pitch, against what is supposed to be not a very difficult side. And Everton had 5 shots on target, 12 shots off target, 10 corners, and no goals. Really, Everton just are concerning because they've had a lot of easy fixtures which they've completely thrown away. I mean, look, they've played Southampton and they lost. They played Leicester and they drew. They played, who else? Fulham and they drew. They bottled it against Aston Villa and Bournemouth. They got humbled by Spurs and Brighton, so I don't think this is looking good. A couple more bad results, and Everton are massively in trouble. And when I say massively, Sean Dyche's job should be under question, because I know that he's obviously helped them survive in that first season he came in, and last season they had a fantastic season. If you were to take into account the penalty they got, they would have actually finished a lot higher. But you look at their fixture run now, and it's bad. United away, Wolves home, but then Liverpool home, Arsenal away, Chelsea home, Man City away. That does not look good. If you only pick up like 3 points out of all those games, Everton might easily be in the relegation zone. And then you get into all those sorts of questions. Do you keep Sean Dyche? Has it been a case of, all right, you've appointed Sean Dyche, he's steered the ship kind of to a more or less safe position. Do you now go for someone else? Because fundamentally, he's playing a rather boring style of football. He's not turning you into a more attacking, creative side which will score lots of goals. And Everton's problems seem to be continuing, the problem of not scoring goals, and their defence is leaky. Last season they had the 4th best defence in the league, I remember, and Pickford I think had the 2nd most clean sheets. So, and the defensive partnership of Braithwaite and Tarkowski was one of the best in the league. People were talking about Braithwaite going to the Euros even maybe. So this has not been the case this season, because obviously Braithwaite has been injured. You've had injuries at fullback, so Coleman's been injured a lot. The young guy Patson has been injured a lot. Mikalenko's missed a few games. Ashley Young just keeps on playing and playing. Even at the age of 39 years old, he's still playing for Everton. Fair play for that. And looking at the league table, in terms of Everton's defence, I made a very interesting discovery. So they have only conceded 17 league goals. You might say that's a bit too much, but that's actually the same as Bournemouth, the same as Fulham, and the same as Man City. So Everton are conceding 17 goals, the same as Man City, despite having Ashley Young, Michael Keane playing in defence, compared to Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Kyle Walker. I mean, seriously, this Premier League is crazy. What a season we're having where everything's becoming mixed up. But yeah, just to finish off on Everton, I think that they are under pressure, and I think Sean Dyche will be really under pressure by the end of these run of fixtures. I don't think he'll be sacked, but I certainly think that I would say probably by early next year, I think his job will be again up in the air. I don't think it was ever up in the air last season properly, but there will be more and more frustrations. But hopefully with the takeover, they'll be able to sort themselves out and improve. Because ultimately, a historic club like Everton doesn't deserve to go down. But let me just finish off this whole analysis by saying, what a phenomenal Premier League are we having? Like, what a phenomenal Premier League. Because Man City in second have 23 points. Newcastle in 10th have 18. We've got 5 teams on 18 and 19 points, 3 teams on 22. And actually, West Ham, who are in 14th, have got 15. Man City, who are in second, have got 23. So 8 points separate second to 14. That is a testament to how competitive this Premier League is. Because now we've got a very cool scenario where Nottingham Forest are 7th, above Aston Villa, Newcastle, and Man United. We've got a situation where Brighton might be in a conversation for top 4. Brighton are 1 point off second. This is fantastic. Beautiful stuff. We want to see a competitive league where teams are mixing about. We don't want to see Man City top of the league again to make it 5 in a row, because then we're just turning into League One. And I'm not saying this as a Liverpool fan, as in, if Arsenal were top of the league by 8 points, I say it's better than City. If even United were 8 points clear top of the league, that's better for the league. It's better for the competitiveness of the league to not have one team winning it 5 in a row, 7 and 8 like City, because that then creates a French league or a Bundesliga. We want to have a competitive league where different people win it. We want to see a rotation of teams doing better and worse. And teams like Brighton and Forest and Fulham are proving that you can do well. This is why this league is so fun, because a team like Brighton can do very well. That's why the Premier League is the best league in the world. We've got the best abundance of talents, of players and clubs. So that's fantastic. I'm really happy that we've got a competitive league where everything's unpredictable. A team like Man United, who spend more than $1 billion, are down in 12th. And that's, again, not only the weakness of United, but testament to all these other clubs. Marco Silva, Fabian Hurtzler, Nuno Espirito Santo. What phenomenal job these managers have done. What phenomenal club efforts to do so well. For a club like Brighton to actually overtake Newcastle, Man United, Aston Villa, it just shows you how, if you use your funds correctly, if you're smart, you can do well. And I want to see a league where money doesn't decide everything or how big you are. I want to see a league where everyone can achieve something. So I'm very happy with this. And yeah, very sorry for Steve Cooper, who got sacked by Leicester. It's unfortunate. I think it's rather harsh because, look, they are 1 point off relegation, fair enough. But he hasn't got the best squad. They sold Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Their squad is really lackluster. I don't understand. You can't expect Leicester to be relegated, and you've only given him 12 games. So he's been unfortunate. He's not really ever made a great relationship with the fans. There's some kind of apparently internal grumbling, and the owners were a bit unhappy, which obviously led to his sacking. So I wish him all the best. So thanks so much, everyone, for listening. Please do like this video on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me your opinion. I want to hear what you have to say. And of course, this video has highlights. I should have probably mentioned this at the start. Yeah, probably should mention it at the start that this video has highlights on YouTube, so you can scroll back and decide what you want to watch in case 23 or so minutes of me talking about football is too boring. I hope it isn't though. Wish you all the best and have a fantastic week. See you soon.